Sad news to begin this week's bullion market update. The fight for fair and free market pricing in the global precious metals price discovery complex lost a dedicated advocate with the passing of Ted Butler last weekend. Ted Butler had a long career as a commodities trader before becoming an analyst focusing on precious metals and specifically the silver market in 1996. With his experience in commodities, it led him to pay special attention to precious metals, which often trade in patterns unseen in products like crude oil, soybeans, or sugar. Through his own due diligence, Ted quickly realized that there was outright and often overt price manipulation in gold and silver markets, and he dedicated his life to fighting against it. Butler Research began as a subscription-based newsletter in 2009. His bi-weekly articles on his website became essential reading, especially during the bull market price surges of 2009 into 2011. Now, I was personally privileged to be the first to publicly interview Ted back when JP Morgan was deemed guilty for violating the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, otherwise known as the RICO Act, in November 2018, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Ted had been pounding the table for almost a decade at the time that JP Morgan was doing egregious things in the market. I'm going to leave a show link in the notes below for that full November 2018 interview in case you missed it. With waning health and in one of Ted's final online subscription posts published in the public domain earlier this year, 2024, he left perhaps one of his most important suggestions looking out into the coming future for silver valuations. He wrote, quote, "What matters most is the nature of the coming silver price explosion, which promises to be monumental in terms of both price force as well as how quickly it unfolds. Try as I might, I just can't envision the termination of the 40-year-old COMEX silver price manipulation occurring under any ordinary 2 steps up, 1 step back price scenario. 40 years of artificial price suppression simply cannot be resolved with what would be considered, quote, normal price action. The end of such a long-term price manipulation must be commensurate with the longevity and severity of the body and nature of the manipulation." Market riggings eventually fail, and most importantly do so with price and valuation blowbacks in the opposite directions, often later called bull markets, by those of the masses of market commentators ignorant for why such price explosions occurred in the first place. In late 1974, even though U.S. Treasury agents conspired with then London gold dealers to use the coming COMEX gold futures contract market outsizing to rig precious metals prices lower, as gold was to be re-legalized beginning in 1975, well, the eventual blowback within about 5 years that followed were that silver spot prices in fiat US dollar terms more than 12-folded trough to peak, and gold more than 8-folded from trough to its January 1980 price peak. A look around ongoing Eastern versus Western silver and gold price discovery markets regarding the data today in the 21st century, well, the situation is way crazier and levered for an eventual mania for the history books to come. The ongoing shadow Eastern aggregated silver price outside New York's COMEX trading hours has ballooned to now nearly $400 an ounce. Whereas within the New York COMEX trading hours, beginning in 1970 at $1.92.5 per ounce, well, that's dwindled down to a mere 14 cents an ounce over the last 54 years of consecutive price trading data. You can really see this data expressed on a non-log chart showing ongoing silver spot prices over the last 54 years versus intra-silver COMEX futures market trading hours. This right here is an ongoing global price rig for the ages. No commodity nor precious metal has ever been rigged so hard nor as long as silver has been ongoing. Silver is not the only market, though, requiring constant price rigging in a full fiat currency record debt-laden world gone crazy. In derivative gold market trading, a daily basis of an average of now requiring something like 200 billion notional to keep spot gold prices in relative polite containment, at least for now. Unsecured gold and silver ETF piles are used as the slush funds to occasionally and persistently withdraw redeemable bullion by custodians and APs of those ETFs over the last few years since COVID 2020. This withdrawing bullion from the unsecured ETF piles, they're often used for profitable arbitrages and in order to tamp down bullion demand where it has been spiking mostly. And over the last few years, that's been in the Eastern world, specifically China and India. In full fiat currency era trading, for instance, gold, let's think of this hypothetical. Focus in on the left side, London-related gold East versus West price chart data throughout this entire time. Just simply citing the ongoing data, if gold never traded between London AM and PM price fixing and their intra-market hours, gold would be priced at $34,360 an ounce in fiat US dollars based on ongoing outside London market price data from 1970 to now in 2024. And with the chart on the right-hand side, COMEX gold futures began trading in 1975, beginning with gold futures contracts priced at $175 an ounce. And they've traded over the last near 50 years of price inflation that's gone on later. They've only traded to now $259 an ounce intra New York COMEX hours. That is smoking gun price containment with ongoing daily price discovery data evidence. We live in a world of fake price signals, at least for now. Congratulations on rigging some of the most important key precious commodity price discovery markets in silver and gold. That has to go out to both seemingly lawless City of London and the COMEX futures markets. While I would argue in doing so, they have helped cost our collective cultures in the aggregate, dwindling our middle classes in both the USA and the United Kingdom at large. Now surely all those quarterly bankster bonuses were worth selling your eternal souls over. On the other side of this break, we will focus in on some underlying fundamental reasons why this ongoing Western derivative price containment scheme is going to fall apart spectacularly. It is destined to fail. Ted Butler and others will enjoy a lasting legacy for all of us who hold and stack physical precious metals as a sound money hedge against the endless debasement of the fiat currency world gone amok. To take up the battle against the derivative price rigging commercial banking system with the same tenacity as Ted did is our charge. And now we will continue that battle onwards to the eventual mania phase that will vindicate his life's effort. Thank you, and rest in peace, Ted Butler.
Hello, this is James Anderson on behalf of SD Bullion. Smash the like button if you enjoy these bullion market updates.
And be sure to visit sdbullion.com/sweepstakes to enter our free 500-ounce silver coin giveaway.
Make some room in your safe because a whole lot of silver could be coming your way. SD Bullion's Monster Box Sweepstakes is back, featuring 500 of SD Bullion's very own Silver Tree of Life coins in a Monster Box for the first time ever. This stunning silver coin is a highly detailed masterpiece featuring a hidden inscription on one of the tree branches that changes every year. So put on your best flannel and become one with the forest, and take your shot to win 500 silver trees from SD Bullion, because someone's gonna win it, so why not you? Click the link below for your chance to win.
The spot silver and gold prices rallied late into the week, only to be cut down in today's final day of trading. Basically a flat week overall for both. The spot silver price finished near $29.50 an ounce bid, and the spot gold price closed just over $2,320 an ounce bid. The spot gold silver ratio closed again at 78. This week at SD Bullion, be sure to come by and buy this 1 ounce 2024 American Silver Eagle coin deal at spot. Getting a brand new Silver Eagle coin below $30 an ounce, that's going to prove a good long-term value. So my suggestion is get yours while they last. In just the first 2 months of 2024, India's silver imports surged to a record of nearly 3,000 tons, most of which is now funneling through the UAE instead of London as it was prior. You see, London's dwindling piles of silver won't keep up in the coming 5 to 6, 7 years, and therefore the LBMA has published and let everybody know that that's what's happened. Basically, the system has been set up so the UAE can become the throughput mainly for silver going to India. At the current rate, estimates on the LBMA website this week that Indian imports could surpass a conservative estimate of some 7,000 tons this year. That's just over 225 million ounces of silver going to India alone, or 22.5% of annual fresh global silver supplies, again, headed just to India. The local silver price in fiat rupee terms has broken out. You can see here the last 3 or 4 months it's busted out. So those who imported record volumes of silver in India to start this year, they're sitting on solid value. And surely those this fall who will be buying more silver for imports are going to obviously be watching the spot price as it rises and will likely feed upon itself as it continues rising over time. Premiums for silver in China continue to stay elevated. This week as high as $4 an ounce over Western spot prices, indicating continued tightness and ongoing demand in China for 1,000 ounce silver bars. Often that silver is going into solar panels. They lead the world in manufacturing solar panels, as well as into other industrial inputs like their world-leading car manufacturing base by volume. Central banks continue publicly stating they plan on buying more gold bullion. It's not a surprise, as central banks are forecasted to again buy over 1,000 metric tons of gold bullion this year, 2024, after having done so in 2022 and 2023. Despite nominal record price highs throughout the last 3 years. There are now 90 nations preparing various iterations of CBDC systems, and you have wholesale CBDC in-bridge systems that are now conjoining. The central banks are front-running the world by buying about a fourth of annual gold supplies. It's their fastest growing allocation in their sovereign reserves. My suggestion is watch what they're doing and follow their lead. Central bank gold reserve surveys with 70 participating organizations illustrate that almost all of them now understand that their collective sovereign gold reserve piles are going to keep growing year after year. And that has been the case since the 2008 global financial crisis, and it's been record size the last 3 years running. The main reason for ongoing gold bullion buying and holding for long term, these are the main reasons mostly cited. Gold, number one, is a proven store of value. Number two, its performance during times of crisis. Number three, gold being an effective portfolio diversifier. Number four, gold has no default risk. Number five, it's also a highly liquid asset. Basically, all five of these hard lessons are things that Western high net worth investors are sitting ducks to have to relearn the hardest and most expensive ways to come. As globally, central banks are and have been front-running their eventual future bullion buying, most Western investment advisors are gold illiterate and have their clients with no allocations to precious metals still. Never mind the fact that 1970 to 2024 back-tested data suggests a 20% liquid net worth allocation to gold bullion versus stocks and bond holdings, both of which, the latter two sectors, are likely set up for major secular bear markets for the years and even decades upcoming. Globally, central banks are likely nearing their 20 to 25% gold allocation if China was honest about how much gold it actually owns in reserves. But just based on the last 3 years of their gold buying volume admitted, it's obvious central banks are scrambling to get as much gold as they can now, not later. And then there's still near half its nominal price high silver, awaiting its eventual outperformance of gold for stretches of years to come in the future. Again, next to no high net worth nor institutions in the West are either in gold and much less in the tiny silver market. The system is set up for a major bullion mania phase surprise. As fiat currency regimes further go down the CBDC rat hole and secular price inflation rages onward globally everywhere, it will only be a handful of years from now when the history books write names like Ted Butler into it. And this building bullion bull market era mostly benefits those who got prudently positioned ahead of time before ongoing spot price riggings unraveled into mania phases galore globally. That's going to be all for our weekly SD Bullion Market update. As always to you out there, take great care of yourselves and those you love.
If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and share it with those you love. Subscribe to our channel and hit that alert button so you know when we publish new bullion market updates.